Japan Sports Cards Collecting, back at you with another video. And today I'd like to talk about a recent sports card show that I set up at for the first time ever. And it was a very small show, 30 tables. And I wanted to start at a small show because, well, I don't know what I'm doing. And it was a show that I went to last month that I talked about in a previous video. And I saw very, very, very few soccer cards at this whole venue. And people I talked to said, yeah, people ask us about soccer cards, but I don't know anything about it. So I decided I would set up and see if there was any interest in soccer cards. And plus, I'm interested in trading for soccer cards. So I brought a lot of the other cards I've been buying. Now, I buy basketball and football cards and things, and sometimes in baseball when I find good deals. And most of the time I buy things that I don't make money on because I don't know what I'm doing again, and I buy into the hype and I buy people that people are buying, and then I buy it up here and it goes down here, and then I hold on to it and I get stuck with it. So I decided to bring also what I thought would sell, especially football cards, because American football season is starting. But primarily I had soccer cards. And I brought some of my Japanese Pokemon cards because I thought, well, maybe no one has them. So maybe there might be some interest in it. So 30 tables were at the show. And I'm going to be pretty transparent about how much things cost, how much I made, because I see a lot of videos of people selling at card shows and things, and maybe they don't want to brag, or maybe it's uncouth to say dollar amounts and things like that, but I'll be pretty open with you. So I went to the show and set up, and at this point in time, I will edit the video and you can see my setup that I had. And I replaced singles as people bought some things. And people did buy some things, which I wasn't even planning. I told people, I said, well, I'm going to, it's a $30. Even if I don't sell anything, it's a learning experience. And one thing I really appreciated about was, you get there about an hour early before other people, the buyers do, and you're setting it up and you're talking to the other people setting up their tables, and it's a good conversation. And people had been to the National, so I was talking to them about the National, and I was saying, did you see many soccer cards? And they were like, yeah, I saw some, but if people aren't really, if you're not looking for soccer cards, I don't think you really see them. And but people had different ideas about what the National was all about. And yes, it was a super spreader, and everyone I talked to actually got sick after the show and things like that. But it was interesting to talk to and just talk to people about different things. And it's pretty fun. It's pretty camaraderie situation that goes on there with different people at the show, which I really kind of enjoyed. I enjoyed talking to people, and I actually made most of my deals with other people setting up before the show came around and said, this is cool, this is cool, this is cool. How much would you do for these four? So I did most of my selling to other people setting up the show, not people walking around, to tell you the truth. So I had a lot of singles for sale. I had a box of just $1 soccer singles, and they were all modern, but many, I just put common base cards of rookies from this year's Champions League, last year's Champions League, Premier League, those kind of things. I just set them out for people. I said $1. It at least gets people maybe excited about soccer, and I can at least get those soccer conversations going. I had 25-cent, 5 for $1 places where I picked up, it had all my base, but it's all football and basketball of not rookies necessarily, but good players. And I thought, well, kids might want, a LeBron James from this year's optics set. They may like that, so 25 cents they can get. Or, a second year, like a second year, or no, it wouldn't even be second year anymore. But let's say like Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold, or I know those guys aren't the talk of the town anymore. But, for a quarter, they're at least going to be, maybe some of them will be starting quarterbacks or, like Daniel Jones. I just got picked up a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of TJ Metcalf, those kind of players. And I said, quarter apiece, I'm going to have people maybe pick some of these up. And then I had just singles for sale, and I brought a lot of slabs for sale. And I did some research on like 130 point and to see recent sales to get an idea of maybe some recent comps of what to ask for prices and things. And then I got bored with that because it takes a long time. So I wasn't selling like very, very high dollar cards. And so later I was like, okay, I know how much I spent on this card, how much I would get. And to tell you the truth, a lot of times I was just marking things for the price that I got it for. Okay. So I made a total of $225. Now that's how much I sold, was $225 worth. So if you subtract $30 from the table, and then I looked at I keep spreadsheets on the cards, how much I purchased things for. I purchased those cards for $85, which means after subtracting the $30 table fee and the $85 that I spent on the cards, I made $110 at the show. So if I say I was there for 4 hours, it's a decent little pickup. And I didn't buy anything at the show. I didn't accept any trades. I was just there to see what I could sell and see what I could do. Okay. And I'll let you know that I sold almost exclusively football and basketball cards. There was no interest in soccer. People didn't even look at them. They would walk in, and I had a lot of conversations with people, and they said, I like soccer. I just don't know anything about it. And so they didn't even discuss it. They didn't even pick up the cards. They didn't even look at the cards. They would say, oh, there's soccer. And some people would come by the table and say there's soccer and just keep walking by. But I was, I'm trying to be very agreeable and very nice, very sociable as people walk by. So everybody that comes by me say, hi, how are you? Anything you collect? What are you looking for? What sports do you enjoy? What teams do you like? To kind of get that conversation started. I know enough general sports knowledge. I can talk all day about anything in the NFL or anything in NBA and talk about the playoffs, talk about last year, those kind of things. And so I had many good conversations about people. And then I would try to bring in soccer. And I'm like, oh, do you watch any soccer? And I was trying to get this in. And most people said yes, but I don't know anything about it. And, which was interesting. And then some people would come in, and one person said, oh, which league do you like the best to watch? And I said, well, the Premier League has all the stars, but in Bundesliga, they score a lot of goals. And I could see the guy had a blank look on his face. And I said, oh, Premier League is England and Bundesliga is Germany, but my team is Ajax, which is in the Eredivisie, and that's what I like watching the most, although it's not the highest quality soccer. And so, but I had to be very clear about when I was talking about which team and what country that was from, and then mention some of the top teams. But then I could see he was losing interest. I think he was trying to make conversations with me. One guy bought some soccer cards from me, and he was looking through the dollar box, and he was picking out, I had Pedri's and Camavinga in that box, and he was picking out those guys, and those were just, base, and those, but he was picking out those, and I said, oh, you like soccer, you know some things about it. He said, yeah, my favorite player is Peter Schick from Bayern Leverkusen. And I was like, oh, really? Like that's kind of out there for people who don't know anything about soccer. But a lot of people I had some singles of, here, let me show you some singles. So I had some singles like not high anything of all, but of like, and I marked all my cards. It's at least, that's kind of like, I would like to get that much, but I definitely would go down. But I said $5 a card for Ronaldo, a silver. I know it's just accomplishments, and this 2017 set, Panini Donruss, doesn't get much love. But it's at least a start. So somebody picked up and said, is this his rookie? And I said, no, that's far as rookie. I said, Ronaldo's in the twilight of his career. He's been playing a long time. His rookie is, I said, it's kind of debatable, but 2004. But I said, 2017, this is well past his rookie. And they went, oh, and they put it up. And mostly I had a lot of base US cards because I thought, well, if there's anybody going to buy anything, it's going to be US players. That's who they're going to know. And you'll see that I have different Pulisic and McKinney cards. I had David Beckham. I thought, oh, this is maybe some things I don't really see anymore. I have Ronaldo, a patch, another McKinney. These are all cards that I'd be happy to move on because I have a lot of them. And so, I have some Messi numbered parallels, and then some autos from U.S. teams. And I thought, well, if there's anything going to sell with people who don't know much about soccer, it's going to be these U.S. teams, or it's going to be Messi and Ronaldo. Not a single one sold. No, like I said, no one even cared. They didn't even look. I had one guy come around trying to sell me soccer slabs, and he had Gavi's. Oh no, not Gavi, Pedri. Somebody must have told him Pedri's like the person to get. So he had slabs of just last year's Champions League base Pedri, SGC 9.5s. And he was like, I'll let him go for $100 a piece. And I said, nah, yeah, I'm not interested. I said, to tell you the truth, I think that there's so many rookie cards of these guys being produced, and these are just base, that I don't think no one's going to pay $100 for them. But I said, maybe you'll get lucky or something. He said, well, I would trade. And he was looking at I don't have it here, but I had a Pulisic Pulisic, his first year of the Premier League Chelsea autograph. And he said, oh, I would think about trading these for that. And I was like, nah, I'm not thinking about that. So, so there's still, like I said, I sold all my stuff, which was football and basketball, no soccer. And I was wearing my soccer jersey and everything else, and at least got people started. I think it was really good to get the conversation going. But in middle America, if you're looking to go to a show and buy or sell soccer cards, it's still a very, very rare market. You won't make any money. You won't sell the cards. And I didn't even bring my better cards at all. If you see any soccer cards, one other guy had a few. They were all this year's Champions League. That's what he was selling. And, he didn't really know the players. And when I started to talk about, I'm talking to him about soccer, and you could see he wasn't interested, and he got out his phone and started going. And I was like, all right, thank you. And everyone's buying football. That's what people are buying. And I know you hear that from everything else, but that's what I found out. So I'm hoping to go to a bigger show now. I got some experience doing it. I didn't love it. I don't love sitting back there. I like talking to people, but I got bored with it. And it wasn't a ton of people walking by. And I feel really bad because some people maybe I had about 50 singles and slabs out. And some people have, they have their like 2 locked cases, and they're looking all good. And they see people looking, and they're like, oh, are you interested in the Weston McKennie rookie? Or I see you're looking at those, and they're really the salesman. And people would come up to my table that I had things for sale, and they were really lowballing me, really kind of seeing what I knew to see what kind of deals they could get from me. I'm talking about, this wasn't really people that were just at the show, but other dealers. And it was a big turnoff. Like something I would want, $40 for, they would say, would you take 5? And I'm like, no. And they said, oh, all right. Like, well, blah-de-da. So I didn't love it. Not everybody there are good people. I know people say the best people in the hobby are the other people. Yeah, some of the people. Not all the people I met I thought were really good people. Some people really turned me off from the hobby. And I was just like, ugh, why am I sitting here with these people on a beautiful Saturday when I could be outside, sitting by the lake or something like that. But I just wanted to share with my experience. I did make some money, which I can put now into other cards, and so I don't feel bad. It's Sunday now, PWCC auctions, which I always try to hit up and see what I can occasionally get the good deals. And so now when I spend my $80 and the 20% buyer's premium or whatever it is, I don't feel as bad. So, all right, I'm sorry. This may have gone long. I'm just kind of rambling. I just want to share my information, so I'll get out of here. All right, thanks for watching.